In your vampire smoothie, blood, there are three types of cells. Red blood cells, aka the oxygen mailman, white blood cells, also known as immune cells, and platelets, which are involved in clotting. We're not talking about red blood cells or platelets today. We're talking about that good old white blood cells. Your immune cells, leukocytes. Do note, these cells are white in color but hard to view. To better view them, we usually stain them with a purple or pink dye that helps make them visible under the microscope, hence why they're commonly depicted in 50 shades of purple and red. All blood cells come from hematopoietic stem cells, which have a CD34 marker on them. Side note, cells have certain markers or receptors that may be unique to them, and are a way for immunologists to identify them by adding antibodies that will bind and flag these specific markers. Hematopoietic stem cells are made in bone marrow, which is a primary lymphoid organ. Anyways, depending on the signal these CD34 cells receive, they can derive into any of these cells. There are two general paths they go into. Doctor or engineer only, the common myeloid progenitor or common lymphoid progenitor. In the myeloid progenitor, they can be made into erythrocytes, megakaryocytes, which become thrombocytes, mast cells, or myeloblasts. Hey, wait, Mara, we talked about this. No more red blood cells or platelet talk. Mast cells are usually involved with allergic reactions. Myeloblasts can further derive into four different types of cells: neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, and monocytes. The first three are all considered granulocytes, since they contain granules of enzymes to digest pathogen. Therefore, granulocytes are phagocytic and will engulf and eat pathogens. Neutrophils are round with segmented nucleus. There can be 2 to 5 lobes connected by chromatin threads. Neutrophils are the VIP of granulocytes. They're abundant and are the first to arrive at a site of infection to swarm the pathogen. Sort of like ants on a birthday cake. They also partake in netosis, which is when they expel their DNA to trap pathogens in a web. Sort of like the org face spider. Damn, nature, you scary. Eosinophil nuclei only have 2 lobes that resemble a U or a horseshoe. They combat multicellular pathogens, such as parasitic worms. Overreactive eosinophils causes allergies. Basophil nuclei are irregularly shaped. Sometimes blobby or lumpy, they tend to fill the cell comparatively more than the other granulocytes. They may be the least common, but they're also the largest granulocytes. They have similar roles as eosinophils when it comes to allergies and multicellular pathogens. They release histamines and other pro-inflammatory molecules, which amplifies allergic reaction. Monocytes circulate in the blood and enter the tissue when needed. Monocytes can further derive into 2 types of cells. Macrophages are large and great at phagocytosis. They also present antigens on MHC class II to T cells, but dendritic cells are the best at antigen presenting and activating T cells. So that's the common myeloid progenitor and its leukocytes. Which of the following do you think the common lymphoid progenitor makes? A baby. That's right, kids. That's how babies are made. B, bees. C, lymphocytes. D, the last 2 of my brain cells. That's right, you guessed it. B, bees. Now, JK, it makes lymphocytes, which are a subcategory of leukocytes and include natural killer cells, T cells, and B cells. Natural killer cells kill cells that do not express a surface protein called MHC class I. All of your body's cells have MHC class I. Think of it like an ID card your school mandates you to wear for the sake of identifying you as a student. But then they actually just want another reason to control and intimidate students and put you in detention. Like, what the heck? Immature lymphocytes will go from the bone marrow into the thymus, another primary lymphoid organ, to mature. Immature thymocytes need a signal of Notch 1 to become T cells. Otherwise, they can become natural killer cells, dendritic cells, or B cells. T cells have a CD3 marker. They can further be derived into CD4 positive helper T cells, or CD8 positive cytotoxic cells. Helper T cells are the captain of the immune system. They notice irregularities from antigen-presenting cells, and will secrete cytokine proteins that signal for more and sometimes specific cells to come assist. They prefer to be triggered by MHC class II cells, which are usually from a specific professional antigen-presenting cell. Remember, these are our monocytes, dendritic cells, and macrophages. Cytotoxic T cells, also known as killer T cells, are great at destroying self cells, such as those infected with intracellular pathogens like viruses or cancerous cells. Although this is similar to natural killer cells, they are not the same leukocytes. Cytotoxic T cells are usually triggered by MHC class I cell. Remember, these are presented on all cells. B cells develop in the bone marrow and do not go into the thymus to mature. B cells also have a CD19 marker. They also have MHC class II and trigger T cells. Their role is making specific antibodies that can bind and neutralize targeted pathogens. There are also memory B cells that can quickly produce these antibodies upon reinfection of their specific sworn enemy pathogen. Once made and mature, T cells and B cells can circulate in the blood or go to the secondary lymphoid organs to encounter pathogens and proliferate. Secondary lymphoid organs include your lymph nodes, your spleen, Peyer's patches, and mucosal-associated lymphoid tissues. A general rule is that the cells from the common myeloid progenitors are usually involved with the innate immune system, which is a very quick and general response. Consider it like you throwing rocks at a stray dog or wild bear to get it to go away. The cells from the common lymphoid progenitors are usually involved with the adaptive immune system, which is a more specialized but slower response. This would be akin to animal control using bear spray to fight the bear, or capturing the dog to bring it to an animal shelter. There are exceptions to this, of course, such as dendritic cells that partake in adaptive immune responses. Welp, those are the cells of your immune system that are derived from hematopoietic stem cells. Please comment below with what leukocytes you think you'd be. Like always, like and subscribe, and please check out my Patreon for exclusive content and merch.